Be still for just a moment. Stop searching. Stop striving. Stop chasing. Let the noise of the world quiet itself and listen. For deep within the silence, the Spirit speaks not through thunder, not through chaos, but through stillness. And if you listen closely, you will hear the voice of God whispering the same words He spoke to me. Don't look for a job. You will ask, then what should I look for? And the answer comes softly, yet with the authority of eternity itself. Look for me. Because the job is not your provider. The economy is not your source. Your resume is not your salvation. I am. These are not words of rebellion against work. They are a revelation about creation. For the world has taught you to labor from fear, to chase titles, to gather credentials, to seek worth through wages. But the kingdom of God does not operate by competition or scarcity. The kingdom operates by law, divine law, the law of consciousness and belief. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew 6:33. God did not say, seek a paycheck and you will find peace. He said, seek my kingdom within you, and everything else will find you. This is the reversal of human logic and the beginning of spiritual mastery. When God said, don't look for a job, He meant, stop worshiping at the altar of survival. For as long as you believe your life depends on what others can offer you, you will live as a beggar in the palace of infinite supply. You were not created to earn your living. You were created to express divine imagination. And through that expression, all your needs are met. There is nothing wrong with work, but there is something deeply wrong with forgetting who you are while you work. The moment you think your value comes from a title, a company, a paycheck, you have bowed to a false god. The world will tell you that success requires effort and endless pursuit. But creation begins not in effort, but in consciousness. It begins with imagination, the divine faculty through which God created the universe itself. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. The Word is not sound. It is awareness. It is the inner declaration of being. When you say, I am, you are speaking the original language of creation. So when you wake in the morning and say, I am unemployed, you affirm lack. When you say, I am waiting for an opportunity, you affirm distance between you and abundance. But when you say, I am provided for, I am guided, I am in perfect flow with divine supply, you speak the truth that overrides the appearance. Your life is not waiting for the economy to change. Your life is waiting for your inner conversation to change. When I first heard the words, don't look for a job, I was confused. I thought God was telling me to abandon responsibility. But in the stillness, I understood. He was not asking me to do less. He was teaching me to do from a higher state of being. He was teaching me the law of creation, that the outer world is nothing but crystallized imagination. If you want provision, stop asking how to get it and begin asking who you are within it. Because the version of you that is fearful, desperate, and waiting cannot receive abundance, but the version of you that feels already supplied will magnetize opportunities naturally. God was saying, stop chasing what you already have in spirit. When you seek me first, said the Spirit, you stop striving for approval because you know you are chosen. You stop fearing lack because you know you are eternal supply in motion. You stop living for the weekend because every moment becomes sacred. This is not idleness. This is mastery. This is how divine manifestation works. Science calls it coherence, the alignment of thought and emotion that reorganizes matter itself. Faith calls it belief, the unseen conviction that becomes seen. But the principle is the same. The outer mirrors the inner. Change the atmosphere within, and the whole world bends to reflect it. You are not here to chase work. You are here to create value. You are here to bring forth what has never been seen before. An idea, a vision, a solution, a light. Every job you've ever had, every position you've held, has been a classroom for divine imagination. The lessons were never about titles. They were about faith, creativity, and purpose. When you begin to see your role on earth not as an employee, but as an instrument, everything changes. You stop asking, who will hire me? And you start asking, who can I serve with the gifts God has given me? Service is not servitude. It is creation made visible. The moment you align your imagination with the intention to serve, the law of circulation activates. What you give in consciousness returns multiplied. This is the true economy of heaven. Consider the lilies of the field, they toil not, neither do they spin. Yet Solomon, in all his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. Matthew 6:28-9. The lily does not search for a job. It fulfills its nature. It blossoms where it is planted. Its existence itself is the job. And because it lives in alignment with divine law, everything it needs, sunlight, soil, rain, comes without struggle. You are no different when you live from your true nature. Peace, faith, and creativity provision must respond. It is law. It cannot fail, you may say. But I still need to pay my bills. Yes. And they will be paid not by panic, but by principle. You will be led, if you are willing to listen, to the right people, the right ideas, the right opening, not through desperation, but through inspiration. This is how spirit works. It gives you a thought, a nudge, an inner vision. Follow it, trust it, act on it without fear. You are not job hunting. You are following divine guidance, and divine guidance never fails. I once met a man who had been unemployed for months. He was full of anxiety, repeating daily, I need a job, I need a job. He prayed, but his prayer was panic disguised as faith. I told him, stop asking for a job. Ask instead to be shown how to express your God-given gift. He began to meditate, to listen. Within days, an idea came, something so simple, it almost seemed foolish. He followed it. He began offering a small service from his own home, something he loved doing. Within 6 months, that service became a thriving business. When he stopped looking for employment and started embodying purpose, the law of abundance responded instantly. That is what it means when God says, don't look for a job. He's saying, look for me within you, and the world will look for you. So, you see, the source of all opportunity is consciousness. The job is never the provider. It is only the channel. Channels can change, but the source remains eternal. When you know this, you live in peace. You no longer panic when one door closes, because you know the door was never the supply. It was only one expression of it. The moment you remember this, you stop being a servant to fear and become a partner to faith. To live this truth is to embody the highest law of creation, that what you assume to be true becomes true. Your assumption is your prayer. Your inner certainty is your command. If you assume lack, life mirrors lack. If you assume provision, life mirrors provision. If you assume that you are already in perfect alignment with divine employment, the work you were born to do, then you cannot miss it, because it is not coming from outside. It is rising from within. So today, stop saying, I need a job. Say instead, Father, reveal your purpose in me, and then listen. He will speak not through thunder, but through intuition, through the small idea that will not leave you alone, through the dream that keeps calling you even when the world says it's impossible. Follow that dream. It is your assignment. That dream is not random. It is instruction from heaven. It is the divine employment of your soul. When you walk in this faith, everything changes. Doors open without knocking. Help arise without asking. Resources appear without strain, because you are no longer chasing what was never missing. You are resting in divine supply, and divine supply knows exactly where to find you. And so the command stands eternal. Don't look for a job. Look for God. Look for the kingdom within. Look for the peace that says, I am already complete. And from that completeness, creation flows. Let these words echo within you tonight. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. To not want is not to lack desire. It is to lack fear. It is to live knowing that whatever you need will appear exactly when it should, because your life is in harmony with the source. You are not meant to survive. You are meant to create. You are not meant to labor in fear. You are meant to rest in faith. And when you do, you will see the law in motion, the invisible made visible, the word made flesh, the dream becoming the life you live every day. You are not unemployed. You are divinely appointed. You are not waiting. You are awakening. And the moment you realize this, heaven itself begins to work through you. The stillness that follows those words is part of the message itself. Stay in it for a moment, because what comes next is not a new command, but the unfolding of what has already begun inside you. You have heard the call. Don't look for a job. Now learn to live from what those words truly mean. It means that your first work each morning is not to scroll, not to worry, not to calculate, but to align. Before your feet touch the floor, remember, I am the vessel through which God provides. From that remembrance, direction will rise. Sometimes it will look like an idea to call someone. Sometimes a new opportunity will appear in a conversation. Sometimes it will be the strength to keep doing what you love. When there's no evidence, it matters. Follow those quiet impulses that is God moving you. The kingdom does not shout. It guides by whisper. You will begin to notice something remarkable. When you no longer chase supply, supply begins to chase you. The people who need what you have will feel drawn to you. Doors will open because peace itself opens them. This is not magic. It is law. Every atom in the universe responds to consciousness. When you are clear about who you are and what you carry, everything in creation begins to rearrange itself around that certainty. That is why Jesus said, according to your faith, be it unto you. Faith is the vibration that commands substance into form. When you believe you are sustained by divine order, life will support that belief perfect. When you doubt, life will support that too. The outer is only ever obeying the inner. So practice faith deliberately. Speak to yourself as one already fulfilled. Feel yourself already guided, already provided for, already engaged in meaningful creation. If a thought of fear comes, answer it with truth. The Lord is my shepherd. I cannot be lost. Say it until the fear dissolves. Say it until the body relaxes. Say it until the knowing returns. And when it does, move forward in quiet confidence. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. The stillness you are learning now is not the absence of movement. It is the perfect rhythm of creation. A seed appears still beneath the soil, yet all of life's power is working within it. You are that seed. The world may not see the transformation yet, but heaven sees it. The law sees it, and soon the fruit will appear not by struggle, but by alignment. Let this be your practice. Each day give thanks before evidence appears. Each day honor your imagination as holy ground. Each day act as though you are already in divine employment, because you are. Your job now is to bring peace where there is noise, beauty where there is emptiness, light where there is fear. This is the real work, the work of consciousness. Do this, and provision will find you wherever you are. You will never need to chase again. If others ask how you can be so calm, how you can rest when there seems to be no visible security, tell them gently, because I have seen who my source is. They will not understand at first. They may call it faith or luck or denial. But when they see how life keeps meeting your need without strain, they will ask again, this time quietly, how? And you will say, by believing before seeing, by trusting before knowing. That is the highest art of living. When you understand this, even work itself will change meaning. You will no longer work for money. You will work from love. You will no longer clock hours. You will cultivate energy. Every task, every interaction, every effort will become a prayer in motion, an offering of who you are to the one who imagined you. And that offering will always be met with increase. Remember this, God does not give you things. He gives you ideas. He gives you vision. He gives you desire, the map of what is already yours in spirit. Follow desire, not desperation. Desperation says, I must find something. Desire says, something within me is ready to be born. When you answer that call, creation answers you. Do not fear beginning small. The oak tree begins as an acorn, yet it contains forest. You will begin perhaps with a single step, a single act of faith, a single inspired project, but within it, unseen, is a whole new life waiting to unfold. And one day you will look back and realize that the words, don't look for a job, were never about withdrawal. They were about awakening. They were God's way of saying, stop looking outside for what I have already placed within you. From this day forward, you will walk differently. You will work different. You will think differently. You will rest differently, because you will know that divine provision is not something to chase. It is something to express. Every time you imagine with faith, you plant a seed in the invisible. Every time you act from love, you water that seed. And every time you give thanks, you harvest. That is the entire economy of heaven. Now be still again. Let these words move through you, not as instruction, but as memory. You have always known this. It is what your soul has been trying to tell you since the beginning. You are not here to compete. You are here to create. You are not here to survive. You are here to shine. You are not here to look for employment. You are here to embody divine purpose. When you live that truth, everything else takes care of itself. The Spirit whispers again, don't look for a job. And now you understand it was never about refusing the world. It was about remembering the kingdom. So look instead for me, says the Lord. Look within. And in finding me, you will find everything. For I am your source. I am your supply. I am your purpose. And I am your peace. Seek me first, and all these things shall be added unto you. Let the quiet rest around you like a blanket. Nothing more needs to be achieved in this moment. This is the place where understanding becomes being. When the world begins again around you, when the day starts, when messages arrive, when people speak, keep a small part of yourself anchored here. This is what it means to live in the world, but not of it. It means that you move through the noise with a calm that does not depend on outcomes. You can still send applications, write letters, meet people, create, build, but you will do these things from peace, not from fear. You will work with the quiet certainty that what is yours cannot be taken, and what is not yours cannot be forced. This is the freedom that comes from remembering your source. Each day before you begin, ask one question only. What would love have me do today? Then listen. Sometimes love will move you to act boldly. Sometimes it will ask you to rest. Sometimes it will call you to help another, to use your gifts where they are needed most. Whatever comes, do it with the full attention of someone who knows that they are acting on divine instruction. When your life becomes this kind of listening, you will never worry again about finding a job. What? Because you will always be in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time. Understand this deeply. The kingdom never withholds. When something seems missing, it is not punishment. It is invitation. An invitation to remember who you are, to realign, to expand into a new level of trust. The same intelligence that paints sunsets has designed your path. The same love that keeps the planets in orbit holds your future steady. The same power that whispered, let there be light, is whispering, let there be life through you. All you need to do is say yes. There will come a moment, perhaps soon, when you will recognize that everything you once feared losing was never the source at all. And in that moment, you will feel something indescribable, a quiet joy, a soft laughter rising from the center of your being, because you will see how gently you were carried all along. It was never luck, never coincidence, never mere chance. It was guidance, steady, faithful, divine. And as you live from that awareness, even your ordinary days will feel miraculous. The way a stranger smiles at you, the way an idea arrives exactly when needed, the way provision shows up right on time. You will see it all as the signature of the one who said, seek me first. When the night comes and the day's work is done, let gratitude close your eyes. Whisper softly, thank you for being my source. Thank you for teaching me peace. Let sleep take you as an act of trust, knowing that even as you rest, life continues to unfold perfectly. And in the morning, when light touches your face again, begin the same way, not by searching, but by remembering, not by striving, but by surrendering to the truth that has already made you whole. You will feel it in your body, the ease, the openness, the quiet fire of knowing. This is how the Spirit works, without struggle, without noise, without fear. From this awareness, everything that you once prayed for will begin to appear. And when it does, you will understand why you were told not to chase after a job. Because what you have found instead is a life aligned with divine order. A life where every action is inspired, every need met, every moment holy. You will wake each day not wondering what will happen, but grateful to witness how perfectly it already does. This is the rest promised from the beginning, the rest that comes from faith fulfilled. So let these words stay with you. Do not look for what is already within you. Do not beg for what has already been given. Do not fear the future. It is already held. Look for God, and you will find yourself. Look within, and you will find heaven. Look around, and you will see the reflection of both. This is the law. This is the truth. This is the freedom of those who walk by faith. Now breathe once more. Feel the stillness beneath the breath. Let that stillness become your foundation, your compass, your home. And as you go, carry this knowing like a flame that can never be extinguished. You are provided for. You are guided. You are complete. You are free. And in that freedom, creation begins again. Every breath you take becomes an act of divine remembrance. Every thought you choose becomes a seed of eternity. Every feeling you hold becomes matter in motion, rearranging itself to fulfill the vision that God imagined through you. For creation was never something that happened once upon a time. It is happening now through you, as you. The same word that spoke galaxies into being still speaks, but it speaks now through your awareness. You are the continuation of let there be light. And the more you understand this, the more the walls of separation begin to dissolve between sacred and ordinary, between heaven and earth, between yourself and God. For the truth is this: there is no distance. There is only recognition. When you say, I and my Father are one, John 10:30, you are not declaring equality in ego. You are awakening to identity in spirit. You are remembering the eternal substance from which all form arises. You are realizing that everything visible is simply God made visible through imagination. To live in this realization is to live scientifically and spiritually at once. It is to understand that faith is not superstition. It is the highest form of precision. It is the divine mathematics of consciousness, where belief equals manifestation and inner assumption equals outer evidence. Science has begun to echo this truth, though it speaks in a different language. It calls it quantum potential, wave function, observation collapse. But what Jesus called faith, the physicist now calls measurement, the act of awareness, determining what becomes real. Yet you do not need a laboratory to prove this law. Your life is the proof. Every emotion you sustain becomes a vibration. Every belief you hold becomes a blueprint. Every word you speak in consciousness becomes flesh. So when you think in fear, fear forms. When you think in faith, faith forms. The law does not choose. It only mirrors. It is no respecter of persons, only of patterns. Therefore, your true work, the only work that ever mattered, is to guard the inner pattern, to clothe your imagination in the feeding of what you desire until it becomes as natural as breathing. For imagination is the womb of creation, and feeling is its heartbeat. The world may call this dreaming, but heaven calls it dominion. It is written, let them have dominion over all the earth. Genesis 1:26. That dominion was never over people or things. but over states of consciousness, over fear, over doubt, over separation, over the illusions that tell you you are powerless. When you rise each day and claim your identity as a son or daughter of God, you reclaim that dominion. You speak into being a life aligned with divine law. You say with certainty, I am peace, I am provision, I am purpose unfolding, and creation obeys. This is why Jesus said, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. He did not say believe that you will receive it someday. He said believe that you have already received. That is the science of spirit. To assume the wish fulfilled is to place yourself vibrationally in alignment with it now. From that state, effort becomes effortless and timing becomes perfect. The doors you once tried to force open now open of themselves because you are no longer pushing from fear, but flowing from truth. And what is that truth? That you and your source are one creative movement, infinite supply, expressing through individualized imagination. So when you look at your life now, look differently. Where others see obstacles, you must see instruction. Where others see endings, you must see beginning. Where others see lack, you must see invitation. Because every condition is a call to remember your power. Every delay is a whisper saying, align again. Every closed door is a teacher guiding you to where the Spirit is actually leading. Nothing is against you. All is for your awakening. So walk through your day with reverence, as though every moment were holy, because it is. Let every conversation become a temple where divine ideas can move. Let every task become an altar where peace can serve through your hand. Let every challenge become a mirror, showing you what still needs to be loved, believed, or released. And when you rest, rest in gratitude. For gratitude is the language of completion. It says to the universe, it is done. It seals the manifestation by feeling it already accomplished. In this rhythm gratitude, faith, stillness, and inspired action, the law fulfills itself without strain. You become not the struggler, but the conductor of divine order. This is the new way of being, not chasing, but aligning, not pleading, but proclaiming, not hoping, but knowing. And as you live in this awareness, you will discover that supply was never something you pursued. It was something that pursued you the moment you stood still enough to receive it. Your true wealth is awareness. Your true work is remembrance. Your true reward is peace. This is what it means to live the science of spirit, where faith and physics meet, where imagination and incarnation are one, where every breath declares, I am. So be still again. Let the words settle deep into your soul. You are the image of the invisible God. You are the Word made flesh. You are the continuation of creation itself. Do not look for a job. Look for God. Do not seek security. Seek understanding. Do not chase provision. Chase presence. And everything you once prayed for will find its way to you not because you forced it, but because you remembered you never lacked it. For the universe moves for the one who moves in faith. Heaven bends toward the one who believes before seeing, and creation itself expands forever through the one who dares to imagine with love. So stand tall now, still and sure, knowing that divine employment is already at work within you. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead quickens your imagination, your hands, your voice, your path. Every moment, every breath, every step forward, it is the kingdom unfolding through you. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a higher awareness, the dawn of your true identity, child of God, creator in consciousness, living proof that spirit and science are one eternal law of love. Now go not to search, but to shine, not to strive, but to express, not to find your purpose, but to live it. For you are already the manifestation of divine imagination, and your spiritual identity expands forever, living the science of creation itself. And so let it end as it began in stillness. For everything spoken, every truth unveiled, every revelation felt, all lead you back here to this holy quiet within. The same stillness that once whispered, don't look for a job, now whispers, look for me. And you have looked You have found, you have remembered. What began as confusion has become clarity. What began as striving has become surrender. What began as seeking provision has become awakening to the provider within. Now you know, the kingdom is not coming, it is. It is here now, living and breathing through you. Every heartbeat is a prayer answered. Every breath is proof that God provides. You are no longer waiting for life to begin. You are the beginning of life wherever you stand. You are no longer hoping for miracles. You are the miracle in motion. You are no longer praying to a distant heaven. You are living heaven's consciousness on earth. Let this realization rest upon you like light. You have nothing to chase, nothing to earn, nothing to fear. The Lord is your shepherd, you shall not want, because wanting ends when knowing begins. Know this, you are the living temple of divine imagination. You are the voice through which the eternal speaks. You are the light through which the world remembers itself whole again. So walk gently now, not as one trying to become, but as one who already is. Carry peace like breath, carry faith like fragrance, carry love like law. And when the noise of the world returns, when the screens flash, when the news stirs fear, when others rush and grasp, you will smile softly and remember. You live by a different rhythm now, the rhythm of trust, the rhythm of divine order, the rhythm of I am. For you have seen the secret. Heaven is not a place to reach, it is a state to reveal. And every act of faith reveals it. Every word of gratitude reveals it. Every moment lived in love reveals it. So, as this message closes, let your life continue the speaking. Let your breath be your prayer. Let your work be your worship. Let your peace be your testimony. And when others ask how you found such calm, such purpose, such radiant certainty, you will simply say, I stopped looking outside and found a source within. That is the gospel. That is the science. That is the eternal law fulfilled. Be still and know you are one with the infinite. You are sustained by divine order. You are guided by perfect wisdom. You are surrounded by endless love. And as you walk in this truth, quietly, faithfully, joyfully, the world will see through you what heaven has always known, that God is here, that all is well, that creation continues through you, as you, forever. Amen.